You want to sprint faster, move smoother, and be more efficient. But chances are you're doing the same drills that everyone else is doing. But what if there was a missing piece? What if I told you the missing piece was not about sprinting more or lifting more weights, but fixing how your body moves? I'm Coach DuWayne Campbell, sprints, hurdles, and jumps coach. And when I first started coaching, I had my athletes, doing a lot of heavy weights. And of course, they got stronger, but they didn't necessarily get faster. And that's when I realized that speed wasn't just about increasing power, but it's also about how efficiently you move. And that's what these 5 drills are aimed at fixing. These drills improve coordination, rhythm, alignment, and strength, but they are rarely taught in most day-to-day systems. But also stay with me to the end of this video because I'll show you how to get a free sprint drills cheat sheet that covers everything that we'll show here in one easy to read, easy to transport PDF format. Plus, I'll also be giving you a bonus drill and weekly training format. Before we get into the drills, this entire video is timestamped below to help you to easily navigate between the different sections. Now let's dive right in. The very first sprint drill is called ankling. Ankling is a rhythmic elastic drill that improves ground contact time, focuses on ankle stiffness and elasticity that is important for efficient sprinting. Ankling is one of the key predictors of efficiency in upright sprinting. And this ankling drill, it really does teach the athlete short, elastic ground contacts, which is a key trait that all elite sprinters have. To perform this drill, start by standing tall on the balls of your feet. Now take quick, short steps forward, striking the ground directly underneath your hips with minimal heel contact, all while maintaining a tall, upright posture. I remember there was a quarter miler that I coached in recent times, and he was struggling a lot with overstriding, and ankling was the drill that we used over a 3-week period to help to improve his posture, to teach him how and where to contact the ground. And over that 3-week period, his sprinting improved a lot and his turnovers became a lot smoother also. And this is all without having to cue him on what the changes were that we needed from him. Just by doing the drill, he was able to get a better feel for how he should be running. And his sprinting has improved drastically. Hit the like button if you've already been getting some value from this tutorial, and comment below ankle bounce if this is one of the drills that you have already included in your warm-up or something that you will be looking to include in your warm-up moving forward. Coming up next is a drill that challenges your balance, posture, and power all in one neat package. Our second drill is the single leg bound, and this drill builds unilateral strength, coordination, and ground contact efficiency, simulating the elastic properties required for sprinting. It also primarily develops unilateral force production, balance, and rhythm. Sprinting is primarily a series of one-legged bounds. Helps to improve how you generate force into the ground without collapsing. To perform this drill, start on one foot with your knees slightly bent and your core engaged. Keep your arms slightly bent and by your side. Now lift your hopping leg off the ground and look straight ahead while maintaining good posture. Explosively push through your forefoot and toes, propelling yourselves upward and forward. Land softly on the same foot, absorbing the impact by bending your knee and ankle. Then immediately upon landing, load your leg again and push off for the next step. Maintain a rhythmic bouncing motion, spending minimal time on the ground between hops. And I remember there was a jumper that we had. He was having a lot of problems with hitting the board. And the single leg bounds, it helped to improve his rhythm so that he was more consistent with the run-up and was able to, after implementing this type of drill into his workout, he was able to hit the board more consistently. This is the double arm variation of the single leg hop. And as you can see, it's the same motion being executed, except it's more applicable to the drums. And the athlete here is putting vertical force into the ground that helps with building the rhythm and force production with each sprinting stride and also with the drum takeoffs. And even just for sprinters, there's a fun fact. Sprinters in upright sprinting, they spend very little time on the ground. In fact, they're on the ground for 0.09 seconds for each ground contact time. And so these types of single leg bounds are a very good starting point for teaching them that type of reactivity of the ground and that rhythm through each contact with the ground. Now, coming up next is a drill that helps with teaching athletes, that rotational component of the foot when the foot contacts the ground. It's not the sexiest drill. However, it's very important because it builds a lot of stability into the foot contacts with the ground. So as the foot strikes the ground, you are more stable. The rotational components of foot contact are emphasized. And it's literally a game changer for most athletes to prime this type of lower leg hydraulic action of the foot. So our third drill in the series is the lateral pogo hops. This is a dynamic plyometric drill that strengthens lateral ankle and foot control, improving joint stability and stiffness in the frontal plane, which is a missing piece for many sprinters. The lateral pogo hop enhances stiffness, foot control, and rhythm. Sprinting isn't just a forward movement. It includes lateral movements with each foot strike. And this drill improves foot strike control and balance. And the lateral pogo hops are performed by standing with your feet hip width apart and knees slightly bent. Keep your torso upright and the core engaged. Now push off with both feet, simultaneously jumping slightly upwards while moving laterally in your chosen direction. Keep your feet close together and your legs relatively straight during the brief air time. Upon landing, rebound quickly again without pausing, pushing off again in the same lateral direction. If your calves are on fire just from watching that demonstration, then type pogo power in the comment section below. And coming up is a drill that you might already know, but I teach it in a particularly slightly different way. And when you learn it in this manner, it will have you moving with much greater efficiency. Now, if drill number 3, which is our lateral pogo hops, was important for unlocking the lateral components of sprinting, then drill number 4 helps to unlock the rotational components of sprinting. Drill number 4 is what we call a karaoke drill. And this drill, it helps to improve hip mobility, coordination, and rhythm. Start by standing sideways to the direction that you want to travel with your feet shoulder width apart. Keep your torso facing that direction throughout the entire drill. Your shoulders should remain square and perpendicular to the direction of your travel. And your hands should be raised to the same shoulder height. Step laterally with your lead leg in the direction that you want to travel. Now bring the trail leg behind your body and across your lead leg, stepping down. Step laterally with the lead leg again before driving the trail leg high in a high knee and up and across and in front of the body, stepping down again laterally in front of the body. Continue this crisscross pattern of bringing the trail leg behind and in front of the body until the drill is complete. And as I said before, it's ideal for improving the rotational components of sprinting. So I said it before, just to reemphasize, sprinting is not a linear activity because all the joints in the body, they don't just glide along each other. They rotate as they move. So the hip joint, which is a ball and socket, like this, it has degrees of freedom. So it can rotate forward and back as the leg moves. It can also rotate in and out. The knee joint also has some rotational capacities and so does the ankle. So the rotational components of sprinting is emphasized by the karaoke drill. And just as a quick aside, you will notice the majority of sprinting drills are very linear, meaning they kind of reduce a lot of the freedom of movement to a single plane. However, when we start to unlock these other components, meaning the rotational and the lateral components, that is where you can get some improvement. Another area that you can get some improvement from what you have already built a foundation on. And the karaoke drill is often seen as just some kind of a warm-up drill, but it's a lot more than that, because it really does help to prime a lot of those other smaller movements that you see when, elite sprinters are moving at top speed. So, for example, there's a lot of oscillation that happens through the hips, meaning the hips kind of move a little bit forward and in front each time the foot is being rolled off the ground, and also the shoulders move forward and in front in this oscillatory movement as each leg contacts the ground. And this type of movement, it's very difficult to coordinate at high speeds. So when you have a drill like the karaoke drill, it really does help to warm the body up, yes, but also to prime movements that would not naturally be enhanced by the linear patterns that we tend to use for most sprint drills. And this type of transverse movement, it really does matter, because it is what frees up the hips and the shoulders to coordinate their activities that allows that type of elastic recoil of the muscles that's important for high-speed sprinting. And separate and apart from that, most young sprinters think that sprinting is about pushing longer, when it is really about bouncing faster. And this drill, the karaoke drill, is one of the most underrated drills for teaching athletes how to bounce faster off the ground. And this next drill is one of the most explosive drills on the list. And it really does help to tie together a lot of the other drills. And it's called the power A skip or power skips. The power A skip is an amplified version of the classic A skip drill that emphasizes vertical force production and explosive thigh switching to reinforce sprinting mechanics. And the purpose of this drill is to build vertical force, posture, and sprint rhythm. To perform the power A skips, start tall with both feet hip width apart. Keep your torso upright and position your arms at a 90-degree angle and ready to drive. Engage your core and make sure that you maintain posture throughout this movement. Drive one knee up towards your chest while simultaneously pushing off the ground with the opposite foot, trying to get as much height as possible. Bring your thigh to parallel to the ground or as high as your mobility will allow. Now, actively drive the raised leg down and back, striking the ground with the ball of the foot directly underneath your hip. Land with a quick elastic ground contact while the opposite leg begins to drive upwards. Continue the drills, alternating legs in a rhythmic skipping pattern until the desired repetitions or desired distance has been covered. And I really don't want you guys to think of this drill as, just one of those run-of-the-mill warm-up drills that you do and not paying attention to. It helps you to learn how to apply vertical forces while maintaining posture. And posture is key in sprinting. So make sure that you're executing this drill properly and with the correct timing. So if the power A skips is the drill that you feel like you're going to include, like definitely include in your training in the upcoming weeks, then drop a fire emoji in the comments below. Tie this all together with a suggestion for a full week's program. And also, I'm going to be letting you know how you can get your cheat sheet. Now, these drills work best when they are paired together. So here is a weekly sample of pairings that you can use in your own training. So 3 days per week, let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for example, you're going to pair ankling with power A skips. That's the day one. On day two, you're going to pair karaoke with lateral pogo hops. And on day three, we can pair single leg bounds with ankling. On day one, pairing ankling and power skips, we'll be working on posture and elasticity, which is the ability to bounce off the ground. On day two, when we pair karaoke and lateral pogo hops, we'll be working on our rhythm and our mobility. And on day three, when we pair single leg hops with ankling, we'll be working on force, production, and coordination. And all of this is inside our cheat sheet, where we will also be including step-by-step instructions, a weekly plan, coaching cues, and a special bonus drill that pulls everything together into one neat little package. So if you're serious, if you're really serious about getting faster, then don't skip out on accessing that cheat sheet. And let me tell you, it is linked below this video in the video description. In addition, guys, I want you guys to be a part of a special 3-week challenge where you're going to choose any 2 drills from today's video. And you're going to do 2 sets, 2 to 5 sets of 30 meters every day in training. And I want you to film your sprinting before you start this 3-week challenge and after you've completed the 3-week challenge. Now, I want you to upload that video to your social media page and tag me in the page so I can see what the difference is compared to before and after you've incorporated the drills in your training session. And of course, you guys know you can tag me. It's at Coach DuWayne Campbell. And also, guys, I have a special video coming up next week where I'll show you how to increase your top end speed without losing your form or breaking down late in your races. So you want to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and you turn on notifications so you don't miss that video. That's the next week's video. So again, make sure you give the video a like, make sure you're subscribed and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future upcoming videos, and download your free cheat sheet using the link below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, this is Coach DuWayne Campbell helping you to train smarter, become faster, and jump further.